Life in this world can be so hard, and the things that we face can often feel so complicated. But over and over again, the way that the Bible calls us to respond to life is so simple. Psalm 36, David looks around the world and he sees two very clear realities. Reality number one, the world is filled with wicked people. David says they have no fear of God in their hearts. They think that they can do whatever they want to do. They're so deceived about themselves. They're so convinced that they're so great that they don't even recognize that they're wicked. He says that they never do what is right. All of their plans are for evil. That's reality number one. Reality number two, our lives are in the strong and loving hands of a faithful God. And this is what's true about that God, David says. His love reaches to the heavens. His faithfulness reaches to the skies. His righteousness is as strong and constant as the highest mountain. His justice is deeper than the deepest ocean. David says his love is unfailing. We can run to him and take refuge in his strength. We can feast on his goodness. We can drink continually from his joy. And because of that, he says in Psalm 37, live like you have a God like that. And then he gives us a clear lens through which to view our lives and a simple plan for how to live our lives as the people of God. Verse 1, he says, when you look around the world and you see the wicked doing whatever they want to do, and instead of getting punished for it, they prosper, don't worry about it, he says. You just put your trust in the Lord. You put your focus on doing what's right. Verse 4, don't just trust in the Lord, he says, but delight yourself in the Lord. And when you do, he promises the Lord will give you the desires of your heart. Now, a lot of people misinterpret this verse to mean that if we delight in him by doing lots of religious things, we go to church, we fast, we pray, then we can claim whatever it is that our heart desires. But before you start making your shopping list, remember that when you really delight in the Lord, your desires are no longer the same as they used to be. He gives you new desires, and they're all wrapped up in him. David goes on in verse 5, not only your desires, but commit everything to the Lord. Commit your way to the Lord, he says. He's not saying bring your plans to the Lord and ask him to bless them. He is saying bring everything to him. Your plans, your dreams, your fears, your weaknesses, your strengths, your entire life, and give it to him. Lay it all at his feet and say, Lord, do with me whatever you want to do. My life is all yours. But David knows the struggles of life in this world. So in verse 7, he tells us again, don't worry about it when you see the wicked prospering in this world. You just be still in your heart and rest in him. Wait patiently for him to put things right in his time and in his way. And then the rest of the psalm is an assurance that the Lord knows the way of the wicked, that he will ultimately deal with them, and that he knows the way of the righteous as well. And he delights in us as his children. Every step of our lives is in the hand of God. He walks with us today, and he will walk with us throughout eternity. Then in Psalm 38, David takes his own advice. He has a painful illness. The wicked all around him are plotting against him. His own family members have abandoned him. Everything looks terrible, and he doesn't know how or when it will end. But in the midst of it all, he hangs on to what he does know for certain. He says, Lord, I wait for you. I put my hope in you. I don't know how you're going to answer. I don't know when you're going to answer, but I know that you will answer. How does he know that? Because he believed what he told us in Psalm 38. Lord, I know that you will answer because your love reaches to the heavens, because your faithfulness reaches to the skies, because your righteousness is as strong as the highest mountains, and because your justice is deeper than the deepest ocean. I don't know exactly what it's going to look like, Lord, but I do know you, and so I wait. I rest, and I trust you to simply be God.